Fedora Productions.
EarthBound Beginnings, or Mother in Japan, is one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely flawed in a few areas, without a doubt, but with its rich story, beautiful music, relatively fun gameplay, and a large amount of personal sentiment, there's a reason it's in my top 10 favorite games of all time. However, like I said before, it has many flaws to it, and I think with the help of a remake, it would make the game overall better. For whatever reason, though, it has never been officially remade onto any console. Ever. I mean, just about every major first entry of the respective RPG series from the mid to late 80s has gotten at least one remake. Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, heck, even the original Phantasy Star got remade on PS2. The closest thing is the Mother 1 Plus 2 compilation on Game Boy Advance that has some minor changes, but is overall the same as the original NES or Famicom game that it is. So it's technically a remastering or port, kinda. Oh, good lord. I guess I have to get down and dirty by detailing what I consider what the differences of all the re's are. A remake is taking the same game, making a new and possibly better engine with the graphical and audio improvements, along with some other stuff, but it's overall the same game. A remaster is taking the same game and making it look cleaner for the hardware, and maybe adding some extra stuff here and there. A reimagining is taking a game and making it into what it was supposed to be, making it kind of its own game. A port is just taking that game and slapping it onto newer hardware with all the fat and trimmings. So today, I thought I'd finally share my thoughts on how I want to remake this cult classic game. Oh god dang it! Okay, so yeah, I know about Mother Encore, and yeah, even before that, there were many attempts from fans to try to remake the first Mother game, like a hacking EarthBound and try to make the first game out of that. And yes, I am very excited for what's coming with Mother Encore, and I did piss blood when I basically saw the first announcement for the thing, but I had started writing the script way before it was revealed and just had a ton of projects to get through so I could actually talk about this thing. And I'm talking about this in the perspective of it being official, not fan-made. Are we good? No? Alright, I'll just talk about it anyways. First thing is first, and that's graphics. Obviously, when you're taking something on hardware from 1983 and putting it on something from 2017 or possibly a Switch successor, it's going to look completely different. There are tons of things you could go for. Maybe like a Smash Brothers style, maybe resembling EarthBound or Mother 3, or just having a beautifully pixelated style like something on Neo Geo hardware. Here's my favorite idea though. How about they take the engine used for the Link's Awakening remake, modify it to be more in line with how Mother 1 actually plays, and make it have a similar graphical style to the scrapped GameCube project, which means it would use 3D models. Sounds a little weird, but look at these clay models and art. It's beautiful. I want it to resemble the art it's supposed to represent. Plus, the GameCube project looks sick, dude. Also, way after I finished writing the script, someone made concept art for a remake of this game in the Link's Awakening style, so I'm definitely not alone in this statement. As for the engine choice, I think whatever development team at Nintendo can work it out. I mean, we're talking about the same company that used the engine for Mario 64 and turned it into Ocarina of Time. Anything goes at this point. As for the environments and things like that, I think the towns should look more distinguishable to each other, mainly by having unique assets and a type of color palette, like maybe giving LA or Valentine's Day one more palette compared to something like Reindeer that could have a much cooler color palette. Character designs are also pretty important too, like how I want the characters to look exactly like how their clay models look. Except I think Nintendo should have a bandana to hold his Franklin badge, just so like he's more distinguishable compared to Ness. And of course this is referencing the Mother commercial from 1989 that actually advertised the original game. And also, in the clay models, there's no actual art of Anna's hat, so I guess they should use like a pink sun hat of sorts. Now we're on to sound. I personally love the entire soundtrack of Mother 1. There isn't a single song that I wouldn't call great. All of them are absolutely wonderful thanks to the brilliant Hirokazu Tanaka and Keiichi Suzuki. I'd love for them to come back to do the music for this potential remake or have someone else do it. But anyways, I like to have a lot of music use appropriate instruments for what they are and stay true to the original songs, and if they need to be loud and bombastic, they can, and if they need to be soft and quiet, then they should be. Two songs I want variations of however, are Being Friends and Battle with a Dangerous Foe. These play a lot through the game. I'd like for Bee and Friends to either be exclusive to one area in the game and have brand new songs for everywhere it usually played in the original, or have different variations of the song, changing instruments, tempo, key, and all that, but it's still the same tune. With Battle with a Dangerous Foe, I'd say have some brand new battle themes, or even import some battle songs directly from EarthBound and Mother 3. Since I want the game to use the Link's Awakening engine, I think it should control similarly to that, but also the original, even having the run button, though I think it should function like how it does in Mother 3. Speaking of which, let's talk about the battle system. I want it to be pretty much a better version of the battle mechanics of EarthBound or Mother 3, so first off I want the enemies on screen, no random encounters, which also means the back attack feature is present, as well as immediately beating something when running into it. When it comes to battle screens, I want them to have the acid trippy fever dream backgrounds and rolling HP counter. To balance things out, I think enemies should give more experience points after battle compared to the original, as well as more money. I'd also like other mechanics to return from the games after Mother 1, like rhythm combos and such. Since we're on this topic as well, I'd also like the addition of a much simpler layout for Duncan's Hell Factory, or at least make it more clear where you're supposed to go. When it comes to the story and characters in the original Mother, I can say without a doubt that it has my personal favorite narrative of the trilogy. The characters I like and do add to the charm of the story, but I still stand by Mother 3 having a better cast. The reasons I love the story and characters, though, come from outside sources like the encyclopedia and the novel, because if we're talking about the story in the original game and just that, it's still kind of the same, just not as delivered or good, and the characters suffer worse with having barely any character at all. I think it would be extremely cool, though, if they had all this outside source stuff and put it in the game, like how Anna was born the day before Christmas Eve, how Lloyd has been wearing his glasses since birth, things like that into the story of this potential remake, or just like giving out through like NPCs that would give out fun facts about the characters in their hometowns, or maybe like books or something that would state these facts, kind of like diaries, or just like have a simple character bio in the main menu giving out these facts. Just that would be nice. To add to the presentation, I think it'd be cool if we had some animatics or something like a slideshow in the beginning text with George and Maria, or maybe just a full-on cutscene. Something I think would be cool would be voice acting. Now, if we have things like cutscenes, I want those to have full-on speech, but in-game and talking to NPCs and all that, I would want the characters to just make noises and stuff like that. Think something like Breath of the Wild or Rayman 2. Not that one. And if we're focusing on talking, then I'd want to have the original Japanese script from the original Mother, just translate it into whatever language you speak. Something else cool to see would be an added party member dialogue feature. This would be a really cool feature to see, since it'd be nice to see how the characters interact with their chemistry in the game. It's not like a remake of an NES game hasn't done this before. Dragon Quest IV on mobile and DS did it, although only the Japanese DS version had it, but it was added to the mobile release worldwide. In conclusion, those are my detailed ideas how I'd want an official Mother remake. This idea took a pretty long time for me to put into video form since I had other projects at work. This idea actually started out as like a top 10 or 5 games I wanted remade that I thought of in like very early 2020. Besides Mother 1, I believe those were the Star Tropics games, Sonic 3 Knuckles, Castlevania 3, the NES Zelda duology, and that's really all I can recall. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned a thing or two, and if you haven't played the original, I think you should, although I'd recommend starting with the Game Boy Advance fan translation first. Maybe you could just wait till Mother Encore comes out. It's probably the closest thing we're getting to an actual remake. Plus, it's been making some really good progress from what I've seen, anyways. Fuzzy Pickles, and see you later.